1 week ago today, I was arriving at Wolf Creek, Oregon for the first day of my long journey north, and today I find myself about 300 miles north of Fairbanks, Alaska, just outside of a little community called Coldfoot. And Coldfoot is nothing more than a gas station, a restaurant, and a place to relax for a few minutes. There is a motel there too, although this motel is $200 a night. Everything out here is pretty expensive. So I opted to stay here at the Marion Creek Campground, which is maybe 5 miles north of Coldfoot. And this is going to suit me just fine because there's very few people here. Again, I have a nice spacious campsite, and I have most of this place to myself. And my only inconvenience right now is that I'm going to have to go back to Coldfoot proper in order to get something to eat and tank up on gas, because gas is pretty critical out here. But other than that, I've arrived at my destination, and it's fairly early. I put in less miles today than most of the other days because I was not planning to go as far, because much of the road that I was on is a gravel road, and so the going is slower, but it wasn't as slow as I had anticipated. So it's now about maybe 5 o'clock. I left at about 11 o'clock and made some stops along the way. So here I am, one day outside of Dead Horse, and there's no farther than Dead Horse. That's where the road ends. That's where I stay overnight, and then I turn around and come back here. So I might very well end up here again, not tomorrow night, but the night after on the way back, depending on how the timing works. I never would have thought I would say this, but I'm a little bit annoyed by this Arctic sun. It's pretty relentless, and there's really no shade. I looked around at other sites. Every site is kind of like this. The picnic table's just sort of right here in the sun. These trees are not that tall, and they're not really lush with leaves or foliage to provide a lot of shade. So this place is pretty sun-swept. I'd say right now it's in the 70s. As you can see, I'm t-shirted. This whole way I had my motorcycle jacket wide open, not open like with the zipper open, but all the vents were wide open. And just back in British Columbia, I was unable to do that. I had to wear my electric gear and layers underneath. I was freezing and shivering, but what a difference. Now I'm 60 miles north of the Arctic Circle, and I'm pretty hot. That's pretty cool. So anyway, my plan for tonight, oh yeah, I can't do a report without mentioning my wilderness animal sighting. And today's one and only sighting was a moose, but this one was a male moose, and it was a big moose, and it had big antlers, and it was off in a lake, pretty big lake, kind of wading out there. It looked like the lake must have been kind of shallow because it was probably 100 feet from the shore, but it was still standing up in the water and looked like he was picking at things that were in the water. And again, I was unable to get any kind of a good picture because there's really no place to pull over. The road had no real shoulder, and it wouldn't have been safe to pull over and try and take a picture there in the middle of the road. So I just slowed down, took a look at it for a moment, and rolled on my way. So anyway, that's what I've done today. Put in another 300 miles or so on my odometer. I'm over 3,000 now, pretty by a ways, and I'll be back on the road tomorrow morning, make it into Dead Horse, and there I have a room waiting for me. I'll get to take that whole shower again and relax and enjoy Dead Horse in all of its tourist glory for a few hours, and then spend the night there. I will check in tomorrow.